right, welcome back to Judging Bouncing Balls. Toby, how you doing, man?
We're good. Real good. Glad to be back. Took a little time off for the, personal health reasons.
That's right, mental
Less
health.
cold.
That's what they call it
Mental
now.
health.
Everything
Yeah.
now is mental health. Got to take it off for mental health.
Right. How great is that? Just not feeling good. Mental health day.
You don't even need to say why. That's the best thing about mental health. It's just like, I just need it.
I remember back in it used to be sick days and personal days. And now if you're a teacher, right, you could do sick days, but you can't be caught at the mall or you get in trouble. Right. Do you guys change where you now it's just personal days?
No, actually, I do wish that we would go to that where it's just everything's a personal day, whether you're sick or whether you're whatever. But no, we still only have 3 personal days, and then you have I think they give us 10 per year for full time sick days, which is I never use. I think I've used in my 5 years. I think I've used 3 days or something like that. So, and those are for
Well, right,
kids.
right. Then, and then but can't you bank them then?
Yes, I have a lot in case I ever get cancer or something. I'm ready.
Yeah. Let's not do that route.
Let's cash those
Let's use them
babies
for
in.
youth sports.
Right.
Yeah, because that's how Green Bay is. Howard Swamico does just the person whatever day. Like if you need a day, take a day.
Okay.
So yeah,
Nice. Well, hey, I think you've had some pickleball since we've had a little bit since we've gotten together. How's pickleball going?
gotta be honest, wasn't a good week. So I missed sick coming out of Tampa. I missed sick, and then last Wednesday I got the the courage up and I went. I wasn't 100%. And I lost first round, and then coming out of the losers bracket, we're up like 10-4. You're right, got to get to 11, and lost 12-10. So it was an
Oof.
early evening. Cost me $10. Um, I didn't even stay for like beers.
Tough.
I just left. I left with
Oof.
my
Man,
paddle.
took your
Yeah,
ball and
I
went
just
home, huh?
took my ball like the whole way home. I took the long way home. I
Mm.
played some sad music, little Guns N' Roses. November Rain, or
Yep.
sang. I was gonna go to a park and just sit there and maybe really think about my sins, but no, I just came home, showered, went to bed.
Oof. Sorry. Not
Yeah,
ideal.
back at it this Wednesday night though, but we're running out. We have an end date. It's April something is the boys switch over from pickleball to guns, so I got to get some W's here before the season's over.
Did you say guns?
Yeah, they skeet shoot or trap shoot.
Nice. That's fun.
Like
I would like to
I've
do that.
stated before, I'm not invited. Um, like I've stated, I find it odd. I continue to ask, um, but they continue to just not answer. So one of
Is
those
this
things.
like are they concerned about the whole you might turn into Dick Cheney and blast somebody in the face or
I would assume so. Like I think it's more that than like that I'm really good. You know, I don't think they're worried about losing. But so there'll be no shooting in my future,
okay.
but that's okay, right? The high school season's going to kick off, which we'll talk about, and there's no time. Like there are games all the time.
Oh my god, it's unreal. It's so busy. Yeah. I that's a whole nother topic of discussion. So totally understand there.
Yeah. But before we get down that road, man, we haven't talked to. I saw your wife and daughter in Tampa for the second round of the national tournament, we'll call it. Um, and what was Amelia's thoughts coming out of Tampa?
I actually she was really happy with the way things went. She really liked the I mean, obviously they would have liked a little bit better result, not not having lost that first game. But the one of the things when I asked her about it, what did she think? One of the first things she said was, "I just love this team." She really does, and I think it's so much fun for her to be around all the girls, and she really feels comfortable with all of them, and um, yeah, I mean, she just really enjoys her time. So from her perspective, really liked it. Wish they would have gotten all three wins instead of two. But really loves spending time and playing with those girls. It's going to be kind of weird playing against some of them this fall, this spring, but yeah, she just really enjoyed herself. Really cherishes the time she has down there. I mean, she just really likes her moments with the team. How about Macy?
Yeah, I think Friday's or Saturday's loss was very hard. I think some of them knew that was it. I think a lot of them thought it maybe was pool play again. Um, but
Yeah,
the way they lost, right? I mean, let's be honest. We scored 6 goals. We gave up 0, but we had 2 own goals throughout the days.
those are the big hurts. Yeah,
Those hurt, and it was a lot of fun. Missed you on the broadcast. Jake Jake did a hell of a job.
he did
Uh,
great.
but it wasn't the same. You know, you keep us on task. I mean, I missed my daughter's goal flat out, didn't move the camera. That doesn't happen if you're there. So,
Hey, that was a
um,
great goal too. I mean, talk about a bomb. That is the BOMB right there. She launched that thing from like
yeah,
35, 40 yards. That was a lot of fun.
yeah, that was especially with about 6 minutes to go in the game to tie it. Amelia
Yeah,
had what 3 goals over the weekend, which
yeah.
was
She had
fantastic.
3. Yep.
And getting back to Friday's game, we played a team out of Western New York, I think, or Pennsylvania. I think Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
and they were good. They were there. Their whole team was there. They had 17 kids on their roster. We carried 15. We carried 6 subs. Um, we had 9 original 08s, and then we started to filter in with girls that came, which I give them credit. They showed up, right? I mean, our other girls did it with basketball and other things going on in their lives. So that personally, that's disappointing. Just because I think we win. I think if our 15 are down there, our 08
Yeah. Agreed.
team, I don't see how we get beat. Um, and the girls that were helpers were very good. They did their jobs. It's just at those moments of a lot of pressure, things happen. And
Yep.
that's when the 2 own goals happened. We got out to an early lead on Amelia's right away coming out of the gate, 12, 13 minutes in the game. Addie down the left side on a cross. And I'm like, here we go, right? We got the first goal, and now we just got to roll it a little bit. And I remember by the way, the broadcast got a little out of hand. I think there was like at one point we had 100 some people watching, and that's all. I mean, I think we had 700 people tune in through the day. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
That's a lot of
I saw
pressure.
live that at one point it was 58. I think the number I saw, and I was like, "Whew, you guys are
Yeah,
drawing some fans."
right, right. And you think the GoFundMe would have taken off a little bit? I mean, I said it about 50 times. I think I must have gave it out wrong.
Yeah, must have.
But right before half, we had a corner and we gave up a corner. And I said it right before too. It just felt bad. I just said if we can get past this corner, I think we win. Just because you could feel the girl was dropping them, just dropping dimes, and it went in. And you're like, oh. And then the ref blew the whistle. I'm like, come on, buddy, can you blow the whistle before the kick? But let him play it out. And
Yeah.
then to go to penalty kicks or free kicks or whatever they call them at the end, and we had 2 opportunities to win it. Um, and it came down to 8-7, right? And we were on our 10th kicker. Um, I found out after that the goalie would have been up next if we wanted. Otherwise, there were 2 or 3 girls on the sideline that could have kicked. But you could see the confidence, right? The first 5 girls, are the girls that are in line. Macy went first. I think Amelia went fifth or fourth,
Fifth. Yeah.
fifth. And the confidence is there with these girls. Macy's kicked a lot of them, right? And these girls have been in pressure situations. But once you get to the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, these girls, I don't think were mentally like in it, right? Because you don't think you're like, oh, it'll be done after 5. So all of
Right.
a sudden you get
Yeah.
to the seventh kicker and they're like, what do you mean it's my turn? And you can just kind of see, and a lot of them did great, really hit a
They
couple in there.
did.
There was a hole. There was a hole where the ball went. So I don't know if you noticed, but the ball sat down a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you kicked it above level and hit it in the forehead, it rolled. So,
Yeah.
by the way, we flew to Tampa to play on the worst fields I've ever
They
been a
were
part of.
brutal. I mean, from the broadcast,
Terrible.
you could see as girls are running, there's just sand kicking up. I mean, you guys might as well have played on the beach. I was honestly really amazed at the low quality of the fields for a tournament that's supposedly one of the higher tournaments. I mean, that was surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, I played on a field in college in Platteville. It's called Mudfest because it was played in the fall, and it was mud, and it was better than this disaster. And every field was bad. And I'm like, the game on Sunday, I bet you there was 10% grass in the corners. In the four corners, there was grass. Everything else was just, and if you played any time in the middle of the day, it was just dirt, like just dirt. And it was like, oh, how is
I
this
just didn't
possible?
understand that either. Did they not know that there was going to be a tournament? Like, water the fields. Like, let's grow some grass. What's going on? It's Florida. I know it's not super warm right now. It's kind of their winter season and stuff's a little bit more dormant. But I mean, come on, it's you still should be able to grow some grass down there.
Well, I'll be honest. I think they took if Hillsborough County Sports Complex invested more than $200,000, I would be shocked. I mean, this is just 15 grass fields and it's in a middle bathroom and like the complex at Bayport is 100 times better, right? Kimberly, every high school in our area, Spash. I mean, where you guys play, it's 100 times better. I don't get
Yeah,
how you took like our fields in Appleton would have been the creme de la creme compared to this mess. It was just like,
yeah,
what is this? Like, how do you like? We go to Orlando, we played at the ESPN Center, which wasn't amazing. I mean, like, it was cool. Don't get me wrong, but the field turf wasn't like
well, they kind
stepped
of
up, and it
butchered
was
the
a lot better
fields.
than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if they didn't consider water. Um, at this day and age, you think somebody'd say maybe a maybe a sprinkler system would work. Um, evidently they spent all their money on a fence that was 3 feet high that I was able to jump. Now, okay, jump is a term that I kind of ran into it and went over it. But um,
Yeah.
this it was that was disappointing. You know, um, Tampa, Tampa's nice. Tampa's really nice. Traffic, not nice. Um, I
But
did
back to the
find where I
games. I mean,
figured me and you should, yeah.
no, go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
it,
off.
no, the fact, we come out of the game on day one, Saturday we lose, and then you kind of think, all right, we need to win, right? We've talked about this. We've struggled at these
Yep.
things. Regionals, we've struggled. Um, coming out of Orlando, we actually lost, had a bye, and then we lost a scrimmage. Let's not count that, but we lost to Germantown, and then
Right.
we tied New Jersey. So we got our win based on a no-show. So you're like, all right, we need to win. We need to try to get a win. So coming through Sunday's game, we're losing. Well, we had an own goal early, and it was one of those like it was a head scratcher. But it's in. So we come
Yep.
down to about 9 minutes to go in the game. The coach makes kind of a tactical move, moves some girls around. Um, we had an injury. So now we're down to two girls on the bench. I think one had come in already. Um, and the goalie kind of kicked it out and it landed on Macy. She did a great job and I don't know how she did it. But it was a beautiful goal.
Yeah.
So that kind of got us in. And you could see, I did post on my Facebook page the goal from the VO. I was able to obtain it, but you could see one of their girls just put her face in her hands and she's like they've been there before, right? Like this
Yeah.
has happened to them before. And then we went into penalty kicks after, and you could feel the confidence that our goalie Kata had, and our girls were confident. And I think we went 5 for 5. So
Yeah.
that put that to bed. We got the win, and then they went on to win on Monday,
Yes.
which was impressive. We had to leave Sunday night, fly out, but um, to play that many times and then play that 8 a.m. game on Monday when you should be dead tired and disappointed and everything, but to go out and to put 2-0 up, I think, on them. So
Yep.
that was and we were down to one sub.
Yeah,
So
and that was that. That was a good rally cry right at the end. Just kind of ended on a high note. Do well. So it was good to see them come out and answer the bell and go out on the right way.
yes, and I think our club did a nice job of realizing coming out of Orlando that things weren't right. Taking a breath. We had an itinerary. We really looked at it like a business trip, and I think it paid off. So moving forward, we're back in Kansas City in June, and then we're back in Florida. Um, I think we'll be ready. I think we'll have a lot more of our players, and I think it'll be really positive.
So do we know the dates on Florida already? Do we know what's in Florida?
I well, to be honest with the way this thing changes, right? I guess we don't know much.
Okay. I didn't know if maybe you knew something I didn't know. I don't know.
No, I'll put Paul on it. Um,
There we go. The research
yeah,
research guru.
because if and I would doubt they're they'd have it yet. But so we flew back
Yeah.
Sunday night, right? We got back at 11 p.m., landed in Milwaukee. Um, Sat on the airplane, get on Southwest. Southwest it is not a pick your seat type of deal, right? You get on the airplane, you get to pick
No.
once you're on. I'm sitting, me and me and Macy have a plan after flying a couple of times now on Southwest is when you get on the airplane, if you get two seats close to each other, as long as they're on the aisle, take them. Like we don't need to sit next to each other. Um,
Right.
they're my kids, right? You spend a lot of time together. Maybe a little peace, little Hobie time with my earphones. So we sit down. Macy's close, like within an arm's reach, and I got an open chair in the middle. And they did say it was a full flight, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna try to head nod some a smaller person of stature. Um, and there were two people left. And there were two seats, my seat, and then a couple rows back there was a seat, and there was two drastically different people coming on board. There was a large male and then a very tiny male, and I kind of looked as the big guy was coming at me, and I'm like, "Oh no, big guy, keep her moving." I'm like, "Hey, pretty nice young lady, I bet back there looking to sit next to you." Sure enough, Jimmy's in, and he takes up a large portion of our row. I
Good
had
for
to sit
him.
like this, which was amazing. My leg cramped. 3 hours. I'm like, just get me
Sounds
home.
amazing.
So we land, and then I drive Macy to Nerdville. All of her friends are in state DECA competition. And I'm like, okay, nerd. So I drop her off at 11:30 at the hotel, and I get a hotel room because I'm exhausted. And then I make it back Monday.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did they do?
Well, how do you think they did? Nationals.
Hey, where's Nationals?
A place called Anaheim, California.
All right. Hey, cheap place.
Right. Right. So
Good.
I didn't know this, but they like Macy calls on Monday. She's like, "Hey, I need to know if we go to nationals, can I go?" And I'm like, "How much? Like, we need some information, right? Like, what's the cost? What are the dates? What's the cost? Let's try start with the cost, and we'll figure it out."
Right,
So
right,
she
right.
tells the dates, and I'm like, okay, there's some high school games going on, and I'm like, we're out. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's a bummer." And then all of a sudden, mom comes swiping in like queen bee on her horse and being like, "You can go." And I'm like, "What?" So he calls, and my wife's like, "I don't think she's going to make nationals, right?" He's a sophomore. There's a lot of kids from the state trying out. She took second, top six go.
Nice.
So I had to turn my frown upside down. Actually, I'm excited for her.
That's
It is a
awesome.
school event, right? It's an academic thing, so I had to turn my brain around and be like, how is it not a sporting event? Like,
Right. Yes.
so the end of April, she will be flying with her partner in her presentation, and a whole bunch of kids from Bayport made it. So they, Anaheim, California, here they come.
That's awesome. Good for her.
Yeah, yeah. So that was exciting. Um, and now she's just training and getting ready for the high school season. So she met with her coach, which was we said, listen, one of the criteria is you will sit your coach down and tell her exactly what's going on and deal with the consequences of missing games.
Yeah.
And
Is she going to have to miss
like
Bayport
anything,
games?
right? Yeah, well, it's a weekend tournament, kind of one of those couple of games, and then she'll miss one league game. Um,
Okay.
but the coach was great. Coach is a teacher, and they're like, this is an academic thing, so it's hard to be like,
Yeah.
you have to miss academic stuff for games. So uh, the coach handled it great. Um, it just said, hey, look, when you get back the next game, you'll play, but we'll probably work you in. And I said, hey, that's a better outcome than I thought. I thought she'd
Yeah.
have
No,
sat
that's,
a game or two, just and that's life.
yep.
So she kind of is living the best life she can, which is great. I mean, why shouldn't our kids live better lives than us?
Yeah. It's just money anyway. Who cares?
At the end of the day, you're exactly right. I mean, who wants to go on spring break and cool things?
Who needs it? Who needs money? No, that's really cool. Yeah,
So,
we had one of the same situations happen. I had our best player on our team for Spash come up and be like, "Hey, that trip we're going up to Ashland. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it because I've got to host a competition, state competition." I'm like, "Good for you. That's awesome. Really happy for you. I hope you do well."
and Paul chimes in here. So we she will miss the Pulaski game, which is a big game for us, right?
Ooh,
Because of the more of the parents. There's a couple of dads that we hang out with. And last year, I
a
think we
little
had to give a
rivalry.
half a point. Yeah. So our bet last year was we have to give half a goal, and Pulaski won in the final couple minutes. So it cost us. I don't know if we ever paid some wings or something. So this year,
Oof.
Paul's asking for more points. And since my daughter won't be there, I will still attend. I'll attend all the games because I do enjoy them. But give me a hard pill to swallow if I got to yell at my kid for not making it. A lot of soccer players out on the field, so you can't blame one. But I will blame my kid.
Oh, you dang right. No, that's I hear you, man. Well, good. No, that sounds like a good opportunity. I think she should definitely chase that. I mean, that's some cool stuff. If you can win nationals or even really highly ranked at nationals, I mean, that's a really cool resume builder. So that's really cool, especially if she's going into business. I mean, that's a big one.
Yeah, I don't think she is. So that's even amazing.
Yeah, good. Still a big resume
But
builder.
I mean, if you think about it, where has she been since November? Late November, she's been to Orlando, New York, Tampa, Orlando, and now Anaheim. I mean, pretty good run.
Good to be a Brasto.
When I was 15, I went to the Dells once, stayed in a motel. That's all we
No,
were doing,
honestly, I am with you. Up until the age of 16, I don't think I ever left. I don't even know if I ever left the state other than like Minnesota, which that doesn't even count. I mean, it's
right?
Minnesota. So, I mean, yeah. And then 16, I got lucky. My mom had like all these sprint miles and she sent me on a trip with my brother to Europe. But so that was kind of like, I went from nothing to like, holy cow. But I'm with you, man. The kids now, I'm like, I look at my kids, I'm like, holy buckets, they get to go all over the place. I never went anywhere.
Yeah. No, and now schools, right? Um, my friend's daughter was just in like Belize for Pulaski for some. I don't know what even why. I mean, these
Beautiful
kids are
country.
like, hey, yeah, I got to come up with $1,200, and I'm going to go over here and pretend to build a hut. I don't know.
Paul's
God
right, though.
bless them,
Floor
because I
prices are
wouldn't
going
do it at
up.
all. Oh yeah. If you need a floor, call me because yeah, things are going way up.
You
Paul's
better get in
garage
while
is
the
getting
prices are
done, and
low.
he didn't even want it done. Yeah, yeah. Paul's wife said to do his garage. Don't worry about the price.
Hey, if Coral says something gets done, it gets done.
Yeah, right, right. So I get to sue Tampa, right? I mean, exciting times. Um,
You know what? I want to add one point on that Tampa, and I sent a text to you guys, which by the way nobody responded to, but that's okay. And that was, Georgetown was the team that we lost to. I thought they were the best team that we played. They ended up winning the top tier bracket, the gold bracket, and they won the whole thing. And I actually thought that we competed against them fairly well. Now we did not beat them, but I thought that game was a lot closer than the 2-0 score, and I thought we were right there and had number of opportunities. To me, it goes back to what you were saying. If we have our full team there and we get the right mindset, I really think that this team can compete in the USYS with almost anybody. I really do. And when we played the Galaxy full strength, we've done really well. This team is like right there. They're just so close. It's hard to like it's hard to watch knowing that they can do better than sometimes when they fall short. But that's sport, right? I mean, it's youth sports. Things happen. But man, this team is right there, right there.
yeah, it is tough, right? Because you have your team for most of the season, but then when the rubber meets the road and it matters, and I think this is on every level. I don't think this is just the Wisconsin United Loons. I think there were teams down in
Right,
Florida that, I mean, heck, there was a team that didn't even show, right? I mean, the first time we were down there. So,
right.
um, the level that we're at is very, very close to the top level, and I know we can
Yeah,
compete. So we'll get there.
I agreed. I know we
I
can
don't.
compete too, and I think that one of the parts of that is now that they've gotten some of these, the proverbial, game out of the way, right? They've gone down and done it and seen it and know what it's about. I really think the next trips are going to be more productive. Let's put it that way. So
Well, plus next time we go, barring no changes, we'll have to four girls teams down there at the same time. So uh, that'll be big, right? I think the six
yeah,
sevens, the eights, six sevens are going to combine, the eights, the nines, and then the 10 girls are one or two wins away from punching their ticket. So all of a sudden you're down there with kind of the Loon family. We get a hotel. Also, you're there cheering each other on. I think just it builds a little bit of camaraderie, and I think we can
yeah,
go and
for
do
sure.
more. Yeah.
Agreed.
But it's funny how it comes to an end, right? Club season just boom. We had that Thursday practice. Um,
Yeah,
Girls were having a lot of fun, and all of a sudden it's over. Now we don't see anybody except on maybe a random Tuesday or Thursday when we play each other. But we'll see you in June for club. But otherwise, it's all high school soccer now,
yep, yep.
which I love. I'm going to be
Oh
honest,
yeah,
like
yeah.
right.
I do
I mean,
too. I've been so excited.
I love club because club was fun for the dads. We got hotels, but now we get to this. You play Tuesday, Thursday every week now until June. Um, Monday night you're like, get your stuff done. Tuesday you go watch soccer in town or within a reasonable amount of like Sheboygan South is the farthest. Well, no, we have to go to Rapids. We have to go by you guys over
I
in
saw that
Central
you guys are
Rapids.
in early in the season. You're in Rapids.
Seven of our first eight games are away, but like it's just me and my wife in a car, right? We jaunt over to Appleton or something, and we're home at night.
Yeah,
It's so great. Sitting in the cold,
gonna love it.
which isn't great. Yeah, but I will have. I'm working on a chair for our podcast store, and then I'm going to order one. So I want to see what that means for us.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
It's
I Shoot me the link and
yeah.
I'll put out an affiliate for it. So
Right now they're out of stock, but my wife found it. It has a heater. I think it has an
hmm,
air conditioner, and it has a massager.
Jesus, this is a Barcalounger Lounger.
I'm gonna need a trailer. It shows like a backpack, and it's like this tall, and it goes down to like your knees. She's gonna
Uh,
make me carry this up, and then I'm gonna have to go get the generator, drag that underneath the bleachers, plug it in.
all I can imagine is like the Friends episode. Pivot, pivot. You're trying to move this thing somewhere.
Right?
That's
So
awesome. I got to see this chair, man.
I'll I'll shoot you the link. She wants one. They're
Yeah,
$104. I'm like, oh God.
nice.
So she says I just have to buy it, shut my mouth. So we're gonna do that.
Yes,
And
very good.
um, it's to be a new team. We lost 5 or 6 seniors last year from the state qualifying Bayport Pirates. Kind of rolls off your tongue. Um,
Yes.
but this will be our year. We got a lot of seniors. We have our largest class is our senior class. So I think it'll be a very tough year to make the Bayport Pirates. Um, what about Spash?
You know, we're still in that transition rebuild. I don't say rebuild, but just we lost 10 seniors last year. So we were not sure exactly how many are going to come back, but the early indications are numbers are going to be way up for Spash. I mean, last year we came into the year with 26 kids and we ended up with like 22. Um, so running JV with 22 kids is really, really tough. I mean, we wore our girls out. But last count, we had 42 girls. So we have 42 girls, 31 freshmen and sophomore. So we are young. We are extraordinarily young. We have 3 seniors and 4 sophomores, I think. Or no, I'm sorry, 4 juniors. No, 4 and 4. We have 4 and 4 of each. So maybe we have 32 now. My man, we might have 34 freshmen and sophomores. Anyways, we got a lot of young girls, which that's a really cool thing for the team because it kind of shows that the numbers are coming back and it gives us time to work with those girls. We're still going to be in transition for sure. I don't anticipate us being, we still have a lot of girls that, are either just trying or just getting started, but it's great to see the numbers. So, that's something we can start to work with and hopefully we just hired a new boys soccer coach here at Spash. And one of the things we're going to try to work on is getting more people involved with club to try to get some of the production of younger players improving. So we're hopeful there. But yes, that's kind of where Spash is at right now. Definitely a transition, but we are really, really young.
Well, it's great, right? Because Amelia's a sophomore. It would
Yep.
stink if Amelia was a senior. Like, right, the senior girls are gonna kind of miss the uprising, we call it.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I feel the team we have one of the things we were positive about in our coaches meeting here a couple of days ago was we have good, solid players at every level. The question will be how well everybody else steps up. We have some girls that if they really step up, could make our starting 11 pretty solid. But if we have some lag, that could hurt. But the numbers are good, and we're feeling better about our numbers. So we'll see what that transitions to. It's going to be good to have lots of good opportunities, though. I mean, we told everybody you're going to play a lot. So the reality is that whether it's JV or varsity, there's going to be opportunities to play and prove yourself, which is all you can ask.
Yeah, no, that is. So you guys make the trek over here. I looked up the day. I don't. It's a Saturday.
Yes,
Um,
late May.
so late May. So you might have to bring, if you can bring the family truckster and the family, we could maybe, get together after. If you got time,
There,
things a lot of moving
there we go.
parts in the
There
Castle
we
Bar
go.
cars, maybe an ice
That
cream
could, that could
truck
be
in the
fun.
future.
I'm going to ask for a lot of points. Let's.
Talk to Paul. He's really good at negotiating because we have no idea what he says in these really long texts, and then he's like, "We're good, right?" And you're like, "Okay, fine." And then you read it, you're like, "Son of a gun."
I'm going to let him do some analysis on on our seasons up to that point, and then your season, and then he can say kind of what the line is. And then we can negotiate on the points. So,
There we go. There we go. It's usually an intense bet, like wings or a beer, and
oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah, we try to stay out of the WIAA crosshairs of gambling. So,
Oh, we would never gamble. That would be horrible.
oh, and I never slice.
Exactly.
I did
So
see.
yeah, I mean,
I
no,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Nope,
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say I did see the podcast. Remember Steph Hauser on the TV yesterday giving out trophies?
Yes,
Yeah,
I did.
shaking hands, kissing babies.
Yeah, I actually talked to her the other day. Just one of the things that I asked her about that I thought was kind of interesting. If you've ever looked into, because I look into the girls hockey thing, the co-ops for girls hockey. I don't know if I mentioned this on the show, are really, really unbalanced. And that's one of the things after I saw it, I'm like, I have to ask her what their plans are. They do have a plan to address this. It sounds like they're going to test it this coming season. But I don't know if you ever noticed this, but you've got co-ops like for Green Bay, for example, they have like 17,000 students in their co-op and they're producing one team, right? And then you go to like ours is about 7,000 students producing one team. And then you've got like Medford that's like 1,000 students and they're producing one team. And then you go down to Milwaukee and it's 27,000 students producing one team. And it's like, okay, something's not right here because you've got all these kids. It's such a disparity in size. And it's like, well, no kidding that Green Bay and Storm's got like 15,000 kids or whatever. No wonder they're constantly pumping out, championships. Storm just won again. Ice Bears the year before, Storm before that, Ice Bears before that. It's like there's going to have to be something done if they're worried about competitive balance and they're bumping teams up, and they're going to have to start doing something about these massive co-ops where they're pulling the absolute best kids out of every school and then they're creating this like super team. They're gonna have to do something about it because it's taking opportunities away from girls that might want to play, but they're maybe just not as skilled because the teams are so highly skilled. So I'm just curious. They does sound like they're going to start to basically tell co-ops that are really big, like, hey, if you've had a lot of success, you're going to have to start breaking your co-op up, and you're going to have to kind of go from there. Which I think is probably going to be necessary when you have, it's crazy. Like I looked at Green Bay. There's like 6 or 7 spashes in one co-op, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah. Well, it is, right? And the talent level on the JV, I'm sure would be, there are girls that'll never get off JV because we have friends
Yeah,
on the Ice Bears, right? Rookie who was on from his daughter Gabby plays on the Ice Bears. Our good friend Tony Ebley, his daughter plays on the Ice Bears, and I think the numbers are there, and they're excellent hockey players. But at the
they
age they're
are.
at, they're always going to chase, right? They're always going to try to get on
Yeah,
varsity, and they might not make it. And politics come into play. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that. I guess I never even thought about that because I did watch the championship game. Uh, what a
yeah,
game!
really good game.
An own goal to lose.
We know about own goals.
Ooh. We do,
Yeah,
but in
but
hockey, they're very like the pulp up.
yeah, but
Yeah,
anyways, I don't think they know exactly what they're going to do yet. So to be fair, I don't want to misrepresent their plan, but I do think that something needs to be done. They definitely are aware of it. I think on the boys' side, there actually is some issues with it as well. I mean, I looked at Fond du Lac's; they have like 7 or 8 thousand students for the boys, whereas you have like Spashes is 2,000, right? And so there's a little bit of disparity there. So, but it's just not as bad as the girls' side. Um, but I'm glad to hear they're at least thinking about how they're going to address it. And that it doesn't sound like it's going to be like these really sweeping, drastic, like come in and hey, you got to break everything up. It's like, okay, you over the next few years, you got to figure out how you're going to address this, which that makes sense. It gives them time to plan and kind of how to move forward. But anyways, it was just a sidebar when you mentioned Steph Hauser. It was good to see her handing out stuff, and yeah, those tournaments were really fun. The girls tournament was great. We watched a number of the games yesterday. Just I was kind of in and out, but it's really cool. High school athletics and educational based athletics, really really cool to see that tournament over in Green Bay. I know some of our players. I didn't get to see Charlie yesterday. Was she in the game or she wasn't? But she was still
No.
part of that team, a big part of that team that made it to three state or four straight team titles or state titles. I know she wasn't on every team, but man, just being part of that team is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was disappointing. Like I watched more girls basketball yesterday than I have. With my wife being sick and I haven't been feeling good, we kind of hunkered down. Lena
Yeah,
up five with 18 seconds to play,
that was
and
rough.
then to
That
lose in
was rough.
overtime. That was rough. Like you felt bad. Make your free throws, kids.
Yeah, fundamentals.
Then Xavier's up at halftime. Xavier's, and then the other team kind of took over. You could see the wheels falling off, and actually, uh, Annika, who our old goalie in club soccer, played a lot of minutes for Xavier yesterday as a sophomore. So that
Hmm.
was pretty fun to watch. And then they lost, and then Notre Dame, which man, Notre Dame just kept kicking themselves into a hole, and they come roaring
Yeah,
back, and then who they
Pewaukee.
not Pewaukee. By the way, Pewaukee didn't start anybody older than a junior, which is
Yeah,
crazy. So
yeah,
they're going to come back with like they'll be the best team in probably the state next year. Um,
yeah.
and then
And I
Nina
think
Nina got beat.
just real quick, isn't Pewaukee going to have to go up along with Notre Dame because they both are going to have enough points
I
because
think so.
Pewaukee was in last year, so I think they're going to
Yep.
have to get promoted along with Notre Dame. They'll both be Division One.
So this will be the big test, right? Because Notre Dame loses three of their top scorers of all time. They're seniors, and Pewaukee will lose no. Well, I think they have one senior come off the bench, but they're going to be make a run at it again. But now you play with the Arrowheads and the Homesteads and
Yeah,
the McGuanagos of the world, um, which would be very interesting to see how that pans out for them.
yeah. I'm really curious. I mean, we were talking about that yesterday. Sarah and I were, this a lot of implications, right? Because this both of these teams are going to have to probably be relegated up. Now, one thing did we ever talk about? Do they relegate anybody down? Because I think if they're really going to do this successfully, I would love to see that. Like you take maybe your lowest Division One teams and you relegate them down, and you relegate a couple teams up, like almost like the system over in the Premier League, where if you take three up, three goes down, because it gives those lower level teams a chance to kind of reset and compete at a different level. And I actually think that could be kind of cool. I don't think that would be really a disservice to the Division Two teams because if you're really struggling in Division One, you probably are going to be competitive in Division Two. Would be my guess, at least a little bit. I don't know. I just think it could be a neat way to do it, but I don't think they're moving anybody down.
Paul said it's based not on performance, it's based on enrollment, but you're relegated north based on
Performance,
performance.
correct? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I just think that would be. I don't know why you couldn't. If two go up, then two go down.
two go down.
Now, my understanding is that performance gets you relegated up, but my understanding is
Right,
they're not taking anybody down unless it's enrollment.
that could
That
be.
because you got
You know
certain
what's
amount of
sad
points for
is
getting to set. Yeah.
there's no like getting regular getting rolled down is not a kick either. I mean, around here, West Appears Division Two, Pulaski's Division Two, like these are excellent schools. So it's not like you're a big almighty Division One playing against, you know, terrible teams. Um, so what is it? Can't have too many teams in the division. So that'll be the thing, right? Where does Notre Dame or where? Well, no, because Notre Dame runs in our division. We're a Division One division.
Hmm.
They just get moved up for the tournament, right?
That's my understanding. Yes, it's tournament based. Like they'll still stay in the same conference, but they whatever their conference is, but they will just
Yeah,
get bumped up for tournament play.
for the tournament, which makes sense. It'll be interesting. I'm excited to see how it goes because like I didn't like the idea because if the team that got you to play a Division One WIAA basketball tournament next year is not the team that's going to be there. Um,
Right.
but it does take a powerhouse and kind of knock you around a little bit, so that's okay.
Well, and I just look at Pewaukee, for example. I mean, they got those two sisters, those twins, that obviously have been very talented. They're only sophomores. They're going to be juniors. No, were they juniors? They're juniors
They're
this year. Sorry,
juniors. I think they're
and
juniors.
they're
Yeah.
coming back next year. But they were there last year, so obviously they've led that team. But let's just say they graduate, they're going to Michigan State as it is, and they don't have anybody to replace them with. Well, that team could take a pretty massive drop back, and then to have to go in and play in
Right.
Division One tournament, you know, I'm not saying they will, but it's like an example of, man, that could be really difficult if that happened where you lose I mean, two really good players out of five, 40% of your team. That's a big loss.
Yeah. Well, they're everywhere too. I mean, you watch them play, and it's just I mean, like, bro, I was rooting against. Well, I was rooting for Notre Dame. I'll be honest with you, but they just, I mean, everything they did was good. Like, there's a reason
Yeah.
why they're going to play at Michigan State, like full ride basketball.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no,
But
they were
then
good
again,
players.
did you see the rules going into the rush center? Like what you can and can't
Uh-uh.
do as a student? It is like signs have to be very small. There's no face paint. There's no firearms. There's no drugs or alcohol, which I agree with. But like the chanting is down. I mean, we used to almost get in fights. It was great. And I know you're AD and you have to be in charge. But I just like they have to almost sit on their hands a little bit. And I
See,
know kids have
I
taken it too
disagree.
far.
I disagree there because like the game that we just had, we had Nina and Marshfield was at Spash because of it was the sectional final, and really bummed the boys didn't make it for Spash. But hey, we got to host, and I will say this: I'll give Marshfield and Nina a lot of credit. The fans showed up in mass. There was a lot of fans. They were loud. We had like almost probably 1,800 to 2,000 people in that field house. It was hopping. I mean, it was every time there was a play that somebody made a basket, it was just deafening. And they did a great job of cheering very loudly, but cheering in a way that was directed more towards their team. Or they did an airball chant here and there, or they did a fundamentals, fundamentals, whatever. But they were generally geared towards their team, and I still think that if you celebrate towards your team, there's a lot of ways for you to get really, really loud and have a lot of fun, where it doesn't have to be picking on one kid or picking on the other team. Even it can be directed at your team. They had some chant that they were doing which goes around, and they clap, and then the fans clap, and then the students clap, and it's like it was cool. I mean, there you got to get creative, but there was some pretty cool stuff.
Oh yeah, you're 100% right, Jeremy. This is all me. This is me wanting to lambaste and make fun of and pick on the cheerleaders. This is from my day, right? But
Fair
yeah, no,
enough.
I get it. The kids are great. You know what's funny? The bad ones in this situation are the parents.
Yeah,
You know, they chirp. Um, I was
they
trying to
do.
think in Tampa if we got in any trouble. I don't think we did. Oh, we did. We did. Um,
Spill, tell
we
all.
got we got well, and it wasn't from the ref, it wasn't from the players, the coaches, or the fans. It was from our somebody on the broadcast I was watching.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah,
Right? And
yeah, I saw that.
I got to be honest, this is where I could have used your calming influence because I got a little angry. I made a hand gesture to my side of the camera, letting him know. I gave him a one finger wave. Um, but I'm like, listen, you don't know me, right? You don't know our team. I don't, we have moms. Elle's mom, Carrie, who's fantastic. Put her in the dirt. Like, she's a fiery person. Like, my wife's fiery. At no time do we wish ill. And the comment was something about, I don't know,
Yeah, I
maybe
could
if we
do
were more
without the.
positive. Yeah,
Yeah, be more positive.
pound
Don't
sand.
talk about putting girls in the dirt, and yeah.
You don't know
So that's a
us.
person that probably is just not familiar with the way that you joke around. Because yeah, obviously we would never wish anybody to get hurt, and we would never want dirty play, and I think that was more taken literally than the figurative, meaning. Yeah.
But I did get a Facebook Messenger, a long one from this person, and I was having a couple beers, so I got my thumbers just to right burning the
Uh-oh.
keypad, and
I
then my
didn't know
wife's
about
like,
this.
"Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea," and I'm like, "You know what? You're right." I deleted everything, and I'm like, "I
Ooh,
am going to
nice
give it the
move.
Brasto 24-hour rule,"
Nice.
and then one of the dads and our team, uh, Andy, texted me on the side because he was watching, and he's like, "Don't waste your time." I'm like, "But Andy, this is what I do. I like to come like I was gonna come back really, really hard, right? Because this is my personal Facebook. Like I was dialed in, and I
Yeah.
thought about it, and I'm like, you're gonna be 50, Jack Wagon." So I ate my words, and I never responded. Very, very proud of myself.
Wow. Good job.
Yeah,
No,
right.
man, I can't tell you how many times I have taken emails that I've had in like paragraphs written back, and then I've just deleted the whole thing and never sent it.
Mm-mm.
Uh, that's funny.
So many times, right? And
Yeah.
the email, the first one's always it's the burner, right? It's always full of life. But I thought my not saying
Yeah.
something said more than anything. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I learned a good one here recently from Mr. Hauser. I'll give him credit. He's kind of being my little mentor. And um he had I encountered him getting kind of somebody came up to him and was really complaining about the refs, and they were complaining about this and that and that. And he listened, and he just smiled, and he said, "I'm sorry you feel that way." And that was it. I thought that was a great
It
way to
hurts
handle it.
more. It hurts more because you want to get in an argument. That's why you're doing it, right? You want the
Yep.
return comment, and then you can go on your Facebook page and said that Mr. Hauser treated you poorly,
Right.
and here
Yep.
he gave you nothing. Yep.
Yep. I was
Not
very
bad.
impressed with that. I was like, that's very good.
Yeah. Oh, it's
So,
hard
anyways,
though.
good
It's
work.
so hard. Yeah.
I know
Not thrilled.
adulting sucks.
Better. It's a better story if I go after him and burn his car down, but that's okay.
Well, good job. I did not know that
Yeah.
all had happened. I saw the little, a little bit back and forth, and I was like, interesting. When you get people in that have never seen it before, kind of your humor and the way they think, that, like, I guess I was like, well, I guess I could understand somewhat, but I'm like, I mean, you got to be able to tell from the broadcast that it's kind of for fun. It's a joke. It's not really serious, but some people
Yeah.
are more
You know.
literal.
Yes. So see if they tune in again. We got some, and I thought about it. I'm off. Me and you are off the air now till Kansas City, so it's not like we're going to be piling back on together at least.
Uh, I did notice that they did tune in after.
Oh yeah. Oh, I did too.
So,
And it was
yeah.
my wife texted me on the side and said, "Hey, might just want to zip it," and I'm like, "Okay, sounds good."
No, I think you guys did well. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
So,
But I did not that we have talked about it, but I did in our caption today to let people know we were going to go live. I did put we would discuss the early departure of the East to Pier boys. I was hoping to draw a little fire for my East to Pier, and
I
people
did
must be
notice that.
sleeping because yes, yes. Um, three people texted me when East to Pier lost the other night, and every one of them referred to them as East to Pier. So I was very happy with that. So it's catching on. It's
Yeah,
catching on very well. Um,
it's good.
so big. Well, they should have lost Thursday night. Did you see that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say they should have lost Thursday night. I mean, can you imagine? I showed that clip to my kids, and they were like, "That poor kid going to school the next day." And I would agree. Like
Oh,
when you've got a wide open layup and you just, bloop, and I'm like, oh, felt horrible for him. Horrible for him.
so we ended up I texted you. I forgot I double booked. I went going to the UWGB Milwaukee game, and the guy in front of us is like, "Did you see what happened?" And he pulled it up on his phone. And did the kid go to dunk it? or did he just go up for a layup and the ball just left his hands?
So here's what I saw, and I think you hit it on the head. He went up, I think, and he was so wide open when he went to lay up, and he jumped. He went up like this, and you can see him. I think he thought about dunking it, and then I think midway he was like, "Oh no, I don't have the hops for this." And so then he's like, "I better lay it up." And so then he kind of just tossed it and just tossed it right over the basket. I mean, it was like one of those. I've been there where, well, been there. I had one chance to dunk in my life when I was in high school, and I'm pretty sure if I would have just done it, I would have. But I like chickened out mid jump. I was like, I'm gonna pass it, and so I passed it over. But I think when you're in that, you're up and you're like to change to a layup. There's like you just don't have enough time, and I think that's what happened to him. And I felt for that kid. I mean,
I
to
know.
advance onto the sectional final, and he just airballed a layup. I was like, oh, that poor kid. But that's youth sports, right? I mean, that's high school sports. That's why you love it. That's why
Yeah,
you hate it.
right. And they were they were 80. Like, it was a lot of points into this game, and then the final
Yeah,
seconds to just give them like. I bet you he was.
in
I wonder if he
overtime.
was like, "Ah, I wish my other teammate would have had the ball right now because we went from hero to zero. Oh, I felt for him.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll tell you the portion before that, the steal, because they're down one, right? And there's this, they trapped him in the corner. The pass, he jumps in front, steals it. I mean, great defensive play. So a lot of credit to him for that. I want to give him credit for getting himself in that position. And then he had the wide open layup, and then he just missed it. But really good up to that point. I mean, phenomenal. It's just poor guy. I really feel for him. I hope he bounces
Oh,
back, and hopefully he's not a senior and he can kick some butt next year for Homestead. So
yeah,
yeah,
I was surprised they were in the game. Let's be honest, because
yeah,
East Superior was playing like they got kids going to Madison. I mean, they've got big time recruits. They went
big
undefeated
time.
last year, won a state title. They were supposed to win it again, and then Arrowhead then came in on Saturday afternoon and beat them
Yep,
85-80. Uh, you
yeah,
remember? I
big
don't
win.
remember high school games going that high all the time. Like that's a lot of points.
Yeah, that doesn't usually happen in our conference. I mean, it tends to be a little bit lower scoring, and I don't know if that's just because of better defense or just because of not as good offense. But yeah, that's a pretty high scoring high school game to get 85
Yeah,
80.
but
But they got a lot of people that can score. So
yes, yes, they are not afraid to shoot, and they do make quite a few. But you look at the girls' side
yeah,
from our area, like I consider Spash part of, it's middle
yeah,
Wisconsin, but that girl from Nina, who's going to UConn,
Zabelle. Yeah,
so
she's
yeah,
good.
this is basketball. I mean, she put up 40 on Friday night. Uh,
Yeah.
like just smooth, everything. Just I don't know. Like I was very impressed.
No, she's fun to watch, and she gave me definite Caitlin Clark vibes. I mean, I'm watching her and I'm like, she just kind of feels like you give her another 2 years in college. Like I could just see her being like Caitlin Clark on the outside, just raining threes. Because she can almost kind of do that now. She does that little step back three and just drains it. And you give her a little time to work on the strength and just more practice. Man, she's going to be lights out for UConn. UConn got that girl from Germantown last year who played minutes this year already. And now they got her. Man, they got some good players. Which, sidebar, the state of Wisconsin women's basketball, like high school wise, really good, but UW Badgers women basketball, atrocious. They can't get anybody. I mean, I look at those two girls from Pewaukee. They're going over to Michigan State. You got Zabelle going out of state. You got the girl from Germantown last year going out of state. There's another girl that was in another big time program. She's going down elsewhere. It's like, I'm not saying Wisconsin should be getting all these girls, but the fact that they can't get anybody and they're terrible every year. And then I've talked to a couple people recently, and they talk about the recruiting process with Wisconsin. Just sounds like that ship has no rudder. It is the listless vessel, just waving on the waves right now. It's pretty sad. I mean, you'd think they'd be better when you've got really good talent coming out of Wisconsin. I'm not saying they get Zabelle and the girl from Germantown, but maybe you can get a couple girls on the tier below that are, like the girls going to Michigan State, and you get a bunch of those girls, and next thing you know, you're pretty decent. And then you can maybe get a Zabelle, or you get a girl from, but they're just rough. I mean, they got beat by Caitlin Clark this year by like 45 points or something. I mean, they're brutal. They're not good at all.
Well, what I don't get too is you have UWGB women who've been beating GB or Wisconsin forever. Coach Borseth, right? Coach Borseth
Right.
has an opportunity to coach in the Big Ten, and you're like, oh, this is good. Like he's coming out of UWGB. Like the next progression would be Wisconsin. No, he goes to Michigan. Now, I know he's a Michigan
Right.
guy. He's from the UP, but like we can't even get the top coaches from a bottom level Division I to coach at Madison. Like I don't understand what we're doing there
Yeah,
because I've heard
it's
that
crazy.
before.
But
Like there's
anyways, yeah,
one
just
girl from Notre Dame, one of the Notre Dame girls is going there, I guess. So
okay.
maybe that'll strike up the chord, but yeah, they should be a lot farther along down there because they've been struggling for a long time.
Long time. But anyways, I mean, not that we're going to talk about Wisconsin basketball, but that's one area that I was just kind of surprised. It's like you would think that you would recruit your own state the heaviest, and my understanding is that they don't even really spend much time in their own state. They go elsewhere. And it's like, okay, well, good luck. I mean,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
not working.
hasn't worked out.
You know,
Yeah,
and it's the cheapest. It's the cheapest to recruit your own state. So, oh well.
yeah, yeah. It's their decision.
Um, but whew, already an hour in. We
Yeah,
got to
no,
talk about
I just want to say the last thing on that. Good job. I know Kimberly got bounced a little bit before, but they had a really good season. Nice to the players that from our team. Nice job to them. We had, Charlie had a great season. Got to the state title game, even if she didn't get the minutes. Still being a part of that. It was pretty cool to see some of our players involved in the state tournament. So kudos to everybody out there that was involved. A lot of great athletes out there. So
yeah. Now we got to quit basketball and just play soccer.
dang right.
Is that? Can we say that? Yeah, we could say
Yes, sure.
that.
Yeah, why not?
So now, what do we got? We got one more week left, right? We've discussed, and then it's full practice, and then it's full game. So I mean, it's time. I miss a good soccer game.
Yes, it's gonna be a fun, and with the weather being so amiable, man. I mean, we got mid to upper 60s tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday. Then it's gonna drop down a little bit, but man, this is. I mean, think about a year ago today. I was looking at some of the pictures. It was lots of snow, and we were not outside. So this is pretty cool. I mean, we are really having a nice mild winter, which allows us. I mean, we practiced outside tonight for our captain's
Yeah.
practice, which that didn't happen last year.
No, Bayport's been on the turf on Sunday mornings, um, ready to go. I know every local team is doing captain's practices. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Lacrosse does start tomorrow. They get the 11th. Um, Soccer gets the 18th.
Oh, look,
Yeah, and
gotcha.
then softball, baseball. So yeah, I'm excited for.
Wow.
I will be attending quite a few of the boys lacrosse Bayport games.
That's cool.
My daughter's
Good luck
boyfriend
to all
is
of them.
on the team. Yeah,
The inaugural season.
yes, it is WIAA. This is the this it begins right. This is you chasing a gold ball now, which is really cool.
Yeah, do they get a big gold like lacrosse ball, or do they get a dude? I wonder what they
It's
get. I wonder
probably
if
a
they know what
state
it
of
is.
Wisconsin wood plaque with a dude, right? I hope it's a
I don't know,
dude.
something like that.
I mean, there'll be a female one too. My daughter's not playing lacrosse this year. Um, we're finally a thing. Max said, "Oh, you're somebody, buddy." It's like it's like it's like what about Bob? I'm sailing. He's tied to the mast.
Exactly.
Um,
Yes, that's exactly how I envision it.
Perfect. But my daughter's not playing lacrosse this year. My older daughter, so I'm just going to go to watch, not have to worry about cheering on my student athlete. So
Well, she's a big nine recruit now. She can't risk her body.
right. Um, we did go over, did our orientation. I don't know if I talked about that, so that's in the books. Yeah,
Yep.
she's on her regiment. Her her structured tennis is has started footwork class. Or she informed me that she needs 4 rackets. Um, I don't know where that came from. So we're going to go with one new one, and I
Couple
don't
old.
think we're going to the U.S. Open this year. So one new one will do it. Yeah, yeah. Look
Nice. Well,
forward.
I've got an old one in the garage if you need another.
I got the one with the wood on the outside. It's like got
Oh
the like
God,
the picture frame on it.
that's awesome.
But I am working on some guests. I did reach out today to an Olympic gold medalist from USA. We'll see if he
Wow.
gets back to me. Yeah, or he
Okay.
spams me and declines. But he is a local UP guy, a good friend of mine. It's
Nice.
his buddy, so I thought he'd be fun to have on. Um, and it's we got to chase and get some. We had a good run of guests this past couple months. So
Yeah, I got
um,
to follow up with the one lady that she personal reasons had to kind of step back, but and see if she's that author, um, Erica. I got to see. I got to follow up with her again and see if we can reignite that because she was willing. She just it didn't work out personally. She was getting married, so I mean, I get it. So now that that has passed, I will see if we can get her on the show.
yeah, and I'm gonna go back after a couple of the soccer coaches, Division II, that I was trying to reach out that were ignoring me. I think I'll come at them a little
Nice.
nicer, softer, kinder.
Sounds like a
With my
plan.
new me, right? The new me. So
The new you. That's right, baby.
it'll be good.
Reinvented.
It'll be good. Yeah. Sunday night. God, I like doing Thursday nights. I'm gonna be honest with you because Friday, the next day. Now we have a Monday.
We're gonna have to see with the season. Wednesdays might be the. I mean, generally Wednesdays are fairly good. Tuesdays, Thursdays, as you know, are out. Um,
Yep.
and even some Fridays and some Saturdays are not good. I mean, we're in the same boat as you. We're doing like 3 games a week, which player load. I don't know if that's great, but it is what it is. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at too.
Yeah, unless we move to Monday nights. I think we started on Mondays. Uh,
Yeah,
what we could do is try to get this week, try to get some guests and then do Monday night. We'll stay in touch. We're not on a
we
set
can.
schedule.
You know,
Nobody owns us.
I was gonna say we can kind of do whatever we want. I mean, for the 3 people that tune in, I think we can kind of
Right.
just move it around.
Yeah. And if you'd like to own us, send us a check to Judging Bouncing Balls and you can tell us when to do this.
That's right. Awesome. Well, good conversation. Hey, hopefully this goes well. Yeah, we're gonna not be able to do it next week because I am in the Grand Canyon, no reception there. So 2 weeks from now, we will probably be on the schedule. We can figure something out right before those first slate of games. That's before it all gets real, so we can kind of connect then.
Yeah. When do you truly leave on this magical trip?
Thursday. Yep.
Thursday. All right. Oil
Yeah.
change this week. Get
Wednesday.
the chariot ready. Wednesday.
Oh yeah. It's happening, baby. So yeah, we're gonna get the tires realigned, we get the oil changed, and then I'm just gonna have them do one little quick check over to make sure there's nothing drastic wrong. I'd hate to break down in Oklahoma and not have anything going. So we're gonna
Right.
hopefully make it the whole way.
Well, if you don't mind uploading some photos of you and the donkey going down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, that would be great. I would like to see this.
I think I will be the donkey, and yes, we will upload it. So that'll be good.
How much to rent a donkey? I can carry it. Put it on my back.
That's right.
That would be me in a nutshell.
Oh yeah. So yes, we'll definitely send some pictures.
Okay. Well, you
Awesome.
you have a great trip, and we will chat soon. And travel safe.
Looking forward to it. You have a good night as well. See you, everybody.
All right. Thank you.